Okay, listen, thanks everybody, and thanks to the filmmakers. And first of all, there's been a great piece of work here today, so give them a big round of applause. Some really great films, and the first thing I'm going to do is just get each of the filmmakers to introduce themselves. So, if you'd like to.
So I'm Nicole Harris. I co-written and directed Zoom Dates.
Well done.
Oh, very good.
I'm Simon O'Neill. I wrote and directed Dispensary of Death.
Excellent. Yeah.
My name is Padraic Keane. I'm the writer and director of Wormhole and the Washer.
Lovely.
I'm Fabien. Oman. I co-directed Wallpaper with Phil, who somehow managed to avoid this.
We'll get him up later. We'll ask him all the technical questions like depth of field and aspect ratio. And look, first of all, anybody who wants to step in and ask a question, just ask them anytime, because it's interactive here, so, you know, it'll help me out as well. Nicole, we'll start with you. Your film is of its time. I mean, it's of, did you make that, I presume, during the first lockdown or the second?
Yeah, the very first lockdown in May 2020.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Dare I ask, was there an autobiographical element to that?
I was still working on site, and one of the guys I was working with was talking about he was on a Zoom date, and he was saying that this girl he was on a Zoom date was telling him, "Oh, I was spraying myself with perfume before this, even though it was on Zoom." And I ran Christina immediately. I was like, "This is a film."
Yeah, it's lovely when just a small little snippet turns into something great like that. Yeah, it's brilliant. And Dispensary of Death, what was the snippet that, you know, where in your mind did you think a zombie going into a pharmacist?
Yeah, it's funny because people, it was basically had a, we were trying to think of an ad for, because I worked in an ad agency at the time, trying to think of an ad for a chemist, and that was an idea that came out of it, and we just parked it away. And then I guess during COVID we had a bit of time to ourselves. We thought, oh, we could develop that into a short, which we did.
Yeah, and a great one too, yeah. I thought they should have taken that ad. That would be brilliant. Which chemist is it? Because it looks like one of those beautiful, old, traditional chemists.
Well,
There are not many of them.
That is actually Swenny's pharmacy, which is
James Joyce's
mentioned in Ulysses.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Which is the man who runs it is sitting in the front there.
One of the people.
One of the people who's one of the volunteers, Mr. Cartmel. Who,
that's a real Dublin institution.
Yeah, so I had had the idea of shooting in a pharmacy, and I went and asked in a few pharmacies, and they were all very restrictive in terms of you'd have to get the place sprayed down and everything. And then it came into my head, Swenny's, and I went to see them, and obviously it looks so nice.
Excellent.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So,
And we didn't give a fuck.
This place is full of filmmakers, so you know, always looking for locations. So, so you can cut somebody's head off, have blood splattering all over James Joyce's Ulysses location, and that is fantastic.
As long as you bring wine.
Do they still? Do you still have readings of Ulysses?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Every Thursday, 7 o'clock.
I have to make that at some point. Yeah, and Nicole, I suppose you were lucky in that you didn't have to have a location.
Yeah, true.
Got everybody to do it individually in their own house, I presume.
Yeah, I guess that was probably a kind of a problem, like getting actors to be their own tech people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone filmed theirs separately. Yeah.
Well done. You've some of the cast here as well. And you're co-director.
My co-director.
Oh yeah. Co-director. Christina, you should be up here as well. And yourself, so Wormhole and Washer, what was the seed of that amazing idea?
Yeah, it started with essentially me wondering where all my socks were vanishing. I've always been really interested in multiverse theory, so just kind of put the two of them together, and it just came from there, really.
Yeah, it's excellent. And I have to ask about the special effects and everything else. Who did you get to do that? And was that very onerous?
Well, like first with the washing machines, they were probably the most complicated. We basically had 3 washing machines, 2 of which were identical. And my brother-in-law, who is he was an aircraft engineer, but in a previous trade, he started off fixing washing machines. So I was asking him, would it be possible to remove the back of the drum from one of the washing machines so that the actor could fit through? And lo and behold, he was able to do it. So we were swapping out the washing machines, and basically we had a door so they could get through, but it was cleverly disguised.
I was wondering about that. Yeah. Everyone's going to be trying that at home. Yeah. Don't try that at home. Okay, this is a disclaimer for the festival.
But yeah, And
Excellent.
then I had a brilliant VFX artist as well that did all the, green screen
Yeah,
stuff.
that was superb. Really good. Yeah. Fabien, I have to declare an interest in that. I had a role in that film. So, what I'd like to ask is, how did you select such an excellent supporting staff? No, stop that question. What's the other question I was going to ask? Oh yeah, if you were to make a feature, would you be looking for the same cast for this? No. Okay, no. It's not an impartial question. Yeah, same question. What was the seed of Wallpaper? Where did it come from?
Oh, it's a true story, yeah. Except the real story is like much more ridiculous. It's I have to be careful what I say for.
Don't be careful.
to implicate people.
You're amongst
But,
friends.
Yeah. No, it's a story my dad told me from, I think, maybe the 80s. He went in to do a house valuation with another antiques dealer there to look at the furniture specifically. And that antiques dealer ended up buying the house itself. And he didn't tell anyone why, but the reason why was because he wanted to just get the wallpaper out of one single room because
Really?
it was 18th century Chinese. And
That is fascinating.
so that's
So it's
that's
like
where it
hidden
came from.
treasure on the wall that he didn't realise, is it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no one recognised it for what it was except for him.
That is fascinating.
It's almost identical to the 19th century version, except the 19th century version isn't worth anything, and it's it's just this one man.
Yeah. God, that's fascinating. Yeah. That's brilliant. Question from the floor before we go on to the next? I'm sure you have loads. I mean, the beautiful thing about these Q&As, we're all filmmakers here, and we're seeing some great work of art here amongst these four. You can learn from these guys, and you'll be up here next year. So, any questions about how to make something as brilliant as this from the floor? Or any question at all? Quick fire one. Yep. And you're next, yeah.
Padraic, where did you get the actor from, your lead actor?
I basically scouted every acting agency in Ireland, and I went through all of them, and then I went through on to England as well. On Spotlight was where I eventually found them. Just looked at tons and tons of show reels, and I approached a couple of people, a couple of actors to give me tape auditions, and like just 4 or 5, and he was great. So I kind of knew straight away that he was the man.
Oh, he was an inspired
Yeah,
choice,
he's
and having to do both roles as well.
Yeah, I know.
Pull it off
God,
incredibly.
He's a great actor.
Yeah.
I was just a question for Nicole. How do you try and create something so topical and then try to avoid the pitfalls of going into tropes and things like that you see? Like a lot of people will make jokes about like Zoom calls and things like that, but the route you go down is kind of a bit different than the ones you see. So I'm just wondering about that.
I guess it's much longer. I was like, the first cut of it was actually half an hour long, and it took kind of so long to grow legs that by the time we kind of got to this stage of it, a lot of it was kind of like, oh, is that funny anymore, or like, are we kind of past that part of COVID? So I guess we're just really lucky that the writing was cohesive enough that like we could chop it up like that and it would kind of fit together nicely. But that was actually just a happy coincidence more than there was some real serious stuff in it about COVID. Not that COVID's not serious anymore, but it just got on too long. Like, I was like, oh, people like no one's gonna. Yeah. People were out and about by that point, so we like cut that stuff. So it was kind of more. Yeah, I think it could have gone another way. Yeah.
And what's next for you, Nicole and Christina? What's your next project?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you produced something great there.
Yeah.
You have the seed of something brilliant.
Yeah. Well, we're writing a few things. Me and Christina are writing a series. There's nothing.
Is it a comedy series?
Comedy series.
Oh,
yeah.
Excellent. I'm sure it'll be great. We'll look forward to it next year. And yourself? What's your next project?
Working on a few feature kind of and a comedy series. Can't say too much about it. But yeah, in a similar kind of vein with great cast and crew. So just try and work something out for that lot.
Yeah. Excellent. And yourself?
I'm hoping to do a short documentary next actually, and then I'm going to start developing a feature.
Is it kind of similar to what you've made there, Wormhole and
I kind of had a lot of quirky stories, and I was thinking about putting them in together in kind of an amalgamation type film. But then I have another kind of drama as well, so I'll pick one and start working on that. I would hopefully get development funding from Screen Ireland. That's what the plan is anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's a good calling card to get the funding. Fabien?
the next short, how to describe it? We're producing a short about a woman who has an affair with a copy machine. Yeah,
That writes itself. Brilliant.
yeah, so done. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. And for the filmmakers out there, yeah, what's your advice? You've made a great film. What's your advice?
Just keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Just persevere.
Persevere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my advice would be based on that. If you don't have any money or budget, find a great location, and you will increase your production value tenfold. That's basically the only
Definitely.
advice that
Definitely.
I can give.
in that case, yeah.
That might be helpful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez, I don't know. Try and find something that, which is what I'm trying to do at the moment, is try and find something that will allow you to earn money and do the development of screenplays, because that's the tricky part, is trying to balance those two, because there's not a lot of development funding around, so yeah, it's tricky. But, yeah.
That's the thing. A lot of the time, when you've done all the development, then you find yourself needing the money rather than the other way around. Yeah.
It's messy.
Yeah. Fabien, any advice to aspiring filmmakers out there?
Yeah, leave before the Q&A starts.
Have I been that evil?
Yeah.
Any other questions from the floor?
I have a question.
Yep. Mo.
Well, I loved all the work up there, obviously. Dispensary of Death, what I loved about it was it just seemed that the cast it was like almost like they were singing a song, like the rhythm between them.
Yeah.
And I was just, obviously it's the edit as well and all of that, but was it rehearsed much between them, or did they all just know each other, and the way they supported each other was just...
Yeah, well, they're all just great actors. It wasn't rehearsed. I would love to have done some rehearsal. It was rehearsed in that it was rehearsed on the day, but we didn't do any rehearsal beforehand. I don't believe in it for short films, because only because I've never had the time to be able to do it before, and now it's just the way it is, and I kind of feel that there's an energy when people arrive in the morning and they're stressed out, and they just kind of, as they're getting in the changing room, they run the lines and all that, and it just kind of worked. It'd probably be better or maybe worse if you rehearsed, but Keith knew Neill, I know Ruth, I know Jack, I knew everyone. I knew of the four, I knew three except for Neill, and Keith had recently worked with her and just suggested her, and she was obviously amazing. So they had a kind of bit of a rapport, all right, just kind of loosely knew each other, but yeah, it wasn't it was just I guess the lack of rehearsal probably helped.
Yeah, it's amazing that way. Yeah, some film directors are completely against rehearsal. I was at a Q&A with Neil Jordan about Michael Collins, and he said there was no rehearsal at all. When they were playing Eamon de Valera, he had no idea how he was going to play it, and he just came out and did that, and just let him go. So it's interesting. I suppose, Nicole, you probably didn't get the chance to do rehearsals because it was all over.
We did, because they filmed it on their own. Christina and I weren't there, so we did a mock run through where we turned our Zoom camera off and saw the setup, and we're like, don't move your camera from there, and then jumped off and let them film it. So there was, and I guess they rehearsed it themselves, but kind of quite hands off, because it just got sent. We transferred the footage at the end. Hopefully you don't have to ask somebody to redo it.
Yeah, definitely. I noticed you picked up a few awards for Wormhole Workshop.
Yeah, I've been doing all right. It was a bit of a slow start, but
was that your first film, by the way?
No, second.
Right.
Second. First was a drama.
I was thinking. That is fairly polished. It doesn't look like a first film.
Yeah, thanks. With every festival run, you have disappointments, and then you have some highs and lows, I guess. But we're on a bit of a roll now, so happy enough with how it's gone.
Yeah. And Fabien, Wallpaper is doing great as well.
Yeah,
a lot of festivals.
Going for some European festivals next year, so
it's great to see.
Absolutely, vested interest there.
Self-interested, but great to see on your behalf and everybody else, and Neill and everybody else. Yeah. So, any other questions? Yeah.
Just in terms of funding, what roughly were, you don't have to tell me the exact figure, but what were the budgets? How were they?
That's a great question.
And also, how were they allocated then?
Yeah, I'll go for Nicole first.
0.
Yeah, that's what I was guessing. That's why I thought you can give an honest answer because it's 0.
How was it allocated?
That can't have been zero.
Yeah, it wasn't zero,
Yeah.
but I mean, it was a couple of grand, but it was like, you know, the location was something we found. But people basically worked for scale or nothing, and you know, shot it over 2 days. So there's a lot more production value on there than what you would think.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult to put a budget on it sometimes on any film because it's like how much do you physically spend or how much time do you count and all that kind of stuff. But I know what you mean. Yeah. And that.
Yeah, it was. I say 13 and a half, but it's probably more with all the, you know, all the festival fundings, festival submissions as well, you know. But yeah, and it was kind of in dribs and drabs.
They add up, right? Not this festival though, because this festival is very reasonable entry fees. So, Fabien?
It was about, I think we spent about 3,000 on it, because nearly everything was just like favour jobs, you know?
Yeah.
All the locations and everything.
Well, being in the industry yourself, it's very
absolutely, and
helpful, I'm sure.
Well, there's some places in that are like kind of hidden away, like the vintage shop that she's working at in the kind of flashback scenes is like that's on Capel Street, and no one seems to know it's there. It's beneath a bike shop, but just give them a plug. But,
near your building.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's just midway down Capel Street there, and it's a great little kind of treasure trove.
Yeah,
But,
excellent.
Yeah,
I mean,
anyway.
that is part of the struggle for all filmmakers, and I'm sure you all agree, is just the locations, getting locations, you know.
Yeah.
And, so the help we can get from benefactors like yourself and others is fantastic. Yeah. We're going to wrap it up. So any last question, burning question that anybody has for these guys? You want to offer it, or are you okay? Yeah. Look, I'd like you to really give a warm applause for these guys. They put a lot of work in. It's great.